Boys. Today we're checking out the story of this man, and we would like for you to be a part of the conversation. The studio lines are open from now, 0706 949 3000, and you can as well call 009 155 1055. We're checking out the story of a 37-year-old man who said that he got married a little over 5 years ago. He said his wife and himself are born-again Christians, and they are very close to their pastor's family, and they regard their pastor as his own spiritual father. He's saying that his wife and himself have been looking up to God for the fruit of the womb for a while now, and they have continued to pray. The wife is the kind of person who strongly believes that prayer is the key. Few months ago, he's saying that he insisted that they go for medical tests, and the wife later grudgingly accepted to one. And these tests certified that they were okay, no issue when it comes to fertility for the two of them. And since then, they have intensified their prayers. However, a few days ago, the pastor's daughter, who he says that he has always been close to, told him that his wife does not have a womb. The daughter then said that she overheard her dad telling her mom that, and that she made him promise not to tell anyone what she had just told him, but that he needed to run for his life before it's too late. Now, he's saying that he has been unable to stop thinking about what she said. How could run for your life even be part of this? What could he mean? Could his wife truly be wombless? How can he approach this? Should he approach his pastor about this, or just continue praying? How can, he handle this? Please advise him. That's the issue that we're checking out on the show this evening. And you can call the studio line or join the conversation on Facebook to let this man know how best you think that he can handle this. Ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń yẹ̀wò lẹ́ni tẹ́yin bá ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, jẹ́ kí n sáré sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ìní kí àwọn èèyàn tó fẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní èdè tiwantiwa káwọn náà kó lè mọ ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń yẹ̀wò. Ó ní òun jẹ́ ọmọ ọdún mẹ́tàdínlógójì, ó lóun ṣègbéyàwó lẹ́bí ọdún 5 sẹ́yìn. Ó ní òun àti ìyàwó òun àwọn jẹ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi. Ó láwọn méjèèjì àwọn súnmọ́ òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní ìjọ àwọn. Ó ní òun dẹ̀ máa ń pè ní bàbá wọn nínú Olúwa, ìyẹn pásítọ̀ wọn. Ó ní ìyàwó òun àtòun láwọn tí ń wojú Ọlọ́run fún ọmọ ó ti ṣe díẹ̀. Ó láwọn ṣáà ń gbàdúrà, wọ́n ń gbàdúrà. Ó ní ìyàwó òun jẹ́ ẹnìkan tó jẹ́ pé ó máa ń gbàdúrà gan. Ọ̀rọ̀ kékeré bá ní jẹ́ ká gbàdúrà. Ó ní bí oṣù mélòó kan sẹ́yìn, ó lóun máa wò pé àdúrà tá à ń gbà yìí, jẹ́ ká lọ sọ́dọ̀ dókítà ká lọ ṣe àyẹ̀wò. Làwọn bá lọ ṣàyẹ̀wò, ní dókítà bá sọ fún òun pé ìwọ àti ìyàwó ẹwà òkè kò sí nǹkan tó ṣe yín o. Làwọn bá tún lẹ́gbàá tí àwọn ṣàyẹ̀wò yẹn tán làwọn bá tẹra mọ́ àdúrà táwọn máa ń gbà. Ó ní àmọ́ bí ọjọ́ mélòó kan sẹ́yìn, ọmọ òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run tí wà ní ìjọ wọn ó wá bá òun. Ó ní ọmọ yẹn ó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ òun tímọ́tímọ́. Ó wá bá òun sọ fún òun pé ṣé orí ìyàwó ẹ̀ yìí kò mọ kí wọ́n máa ń pe wúǹbù náà, kò ní wúǹbù o, kò ní ilé ọmọ kò sí lára ẹ̀. Ó ní ìyẹn wá sọ fún òun pé gbà tí bàbá àti ìyá òun yẹn òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ìjọ wọn àti ìyàwó ẹ̀ tán jọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ló ń gbọ́ tí wọ́n sọ pé ìyàwó ẹ̀ kò ní ilé ọmọ mọ́. Ó ní ìyẹn wá sọ fún ó ní wọ́n sọ pé tó bá wù ẹ́ kó ìtè sàsálà fún ẹ̀mí ẹ̀. Ó ní ìyẹn wá ti ń kọ́ òun lómi látìgbà tí òun àti arábìnrin ti jọ sọ̀rọ̀ pé tó má ti sọ pé ìyàwó òun ò ní ilé ọmọ mọ́, kí ló kan sàsálà fún ẹ̀mí ẹni gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ yìí. Ó ní ṣó tiẹ̀ ṣe kíyàwó òun kó tiẹ̀ má nílé ọmọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí arábìnrin yìí ṣe sọ. Ó ní ṣé kò ń lọ bá òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run kó òun bí léèrè pé báyìí kásá báyìí kàwòdì àbí kí ni kò ń ṣe. Oníṣẹ́ àbí ṣé kò máa gbàdúrà, báwo ni kò ń ṣe ṣèrọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí ká bá òun yẹ̀wò lórí ètò lénìí. That's the issue that we're checking out this evening. 0809 155 1055, and you can as well call 0706 949 3000. Hello, good evening. Are you there? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Stephen, calling from Sultan.
Your name is what?
Stephen.
Stephen, welcome. What do you think concerning the issue we're checking out this evening?
Concerning the issue, since both of them have gone for medical checkup, and the doctor tested and the test is okay, he shouldn't fear or neither worry what the daughter of his pastor may tell him. because if such thing is happened, the wife will have revealed it to him. So they should keep on praying and believing in God.
Okay.
Even such miracle have happened before, which I heard about.
Okay.
That a woman with no womb delivered.
Okay.
God is the great physician who can do that even if it happens.
Okay.
So they shouldn't listen to the party. The pastor and the wife, they may be discussing about another person's matter, but their daughter may overhead their discussion and think maybe they are the one that his dad and our dad and our mom was discussing about.
Mm-hmm.
So the man question should be rest assured that nothing impossible for God to do.
All right, I got that. Thank you so much for that. You know, while he was talking, he actually touched on two different angles. He was exploring the possibility of this not being the case of this man in question that the parents were discussing. And he also touched on the possibility of, you know, she not truly having a womb. We'll explore that, Raymond. Just want to try to pick as many calls as possible because I was accused last week that I didn't pick so many calls. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Omajo.
Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
I would like to remain anonymous, but I'm a pastor. I'm coming from Ibadan.
Okay.
Yeah, so as much as I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, I'm born again, but I like us to use our own God-given wisdom. Now, the first question is, what kind of test did they do?
Okay.
One. Secondly, where did they do the test? Very, very important because, yes, prayer answers things, but there's some facts that you can overlook. I believe in miracles. I've seen God do things that are possible, but that doesn't remove the fact that we need to address the issue. What kind of text? Where did they do the test? Then, two, what kind of relationship exists between the guy and the other lady? Could it be that there's an ulterior motive for the other lady? So there are so many loose ends that must fix together. So I think the starting point is first, get 2-3 places that you do test, standard places. Now, when you have that, then if there's an issue with the womb thing, then you can address it. But if there is no issue, then you just know that he has to withdraw from the friend, the coach, the pastor's. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Do you agree with him? 0706949300. And you can also call 0809-155-1055. Raymond, let's start with where the last caller actually dropped it. He was asking for the kind of test that he took and also where those tests were taken. Do you think that this scenario is such an angle that, you know, the man should be considering? I know that I'm not trying to displace the man's contribution, but I'm saying consider that angle. And even if we're going to explore that angle, what would be the rationale behind it?
Well, thank you. Good evening, the listeners, once again.
Yeah.
The area of the medical checkup. Well, in this part of the world, a lot of things are possible. We have cases of medical report being doctored due to influence or buying off at a price and all those. Sincerely, I will not rule out what the last caller mentioned of, that the kind of test and where it was done. Now, angles to look at in that scenario in order to question the authenticity of that result is that were both of them on seat as at when it was carried out and result given.
You mean the test?
Yes. Number two, the doctor, who is it close to? Is it just a random doctor that did it, or a family doctor? Or it was the husband that knows the doctor, or the wife that knows the doctor?
Are you trying to insinuate the possibility of the wife manipulating the results?
There is possibility. Nothing is impossible as long as we are humans. Okay. We carry flesh and blood, and anybody can do anything to cover anything, especially when it comes to marriage. You see, a lot of things are serious cases that are tend to be overlooked and covered that shouldn't have been when it comes to marriage. And when you bring up religiosity on it, it becomes another factor. And the name of religion does not permit. A lot of things that would have played out, we use religions to cover at the surface and